Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Guys, Relentless Trader is down $1,326.83 today. Quite the amount to be down. Red Day recap, guys. Red Day recap. Um, I usually start off with what happened after the stream because, usually most people are not really familiar with that. So SMMT is what happened after the stream. Wasn't really here with any intentions to keep trading, but saw this thing moving up. It was called out in our Discord audio section. I thought it looked decent. I pulled it up. It looked great. Daily chart, first daily candle here after a while, ripping over some new high of day levels. Right, you can see we had this bit of a wedge, and this is a great one to have down here. Right, wedge, candle makes the new high at 373. It pushes up. 450 was a key level. It came up there, and I watched the pullback down here. You can see I'm in at 1104 at 1042. And then initially I sold that position for a small loss. I'm like, hey, let's get back in lower. We got back in lower here. You can see we had this bit of a lower high, higher low kind of a thing going on. So I got in up here at 430. Watching for a tight backstop at 26 or so. It just flushes down, and I kind of, you just never know when a flush is gonna happen. But I thought to myself, like, man, I don't know why, I was like, I don't know why, but it seems like this could flush. I kind of had that feeling in my head. Why? Maybe because I got caught in two flushes. Did I sell the stock for that reason? The answer is no. I lived the trade through. So said, so done. It did flush, but okay, we take the loss, right? What are you gonna do? It could have easily held the lows, curled up, made the new high, and it would have been a good trade, right? Which is what I was looking for. So, moving on to the $700 loss, which we had during the stream. By the way, let's come off of dual screen. I don't think we needed that for that last example. No. Okay. VKTX was actually a pretty decent stock. Pre-market, it did sell off a little bit, but curled up nicely into the open, nice red to green. And this is the one that I actually did the worst on. I got down on this thing pretty early. It was down like $300. In fact, I was actually green. I was green like 150, and then I took losses. It's kind of crazy how the momentum is. I mean, it was so close. This thing starts off, I see it fairly early. We go from 530 to 560. It pushes up a little bit, and I'm in nicely for a quick scalp, and then it pulls back to a low of 58. But I was in on this candle early here at 31. I was in fairly early, and then I sold soon. Which is one of these things I'm doing a little too frequently here in the last couple of days. My paper hands. I believe it might have been this trade here at 69. So it pulled back on level 2. We're kind of holding this area here. And I didn't give it a chance. I needed to hold a little longer and let the stock open up. Right? And this is going to be the first loss that I'll get caught in here. Right? So we are at 68, 67. It's holding. I did take a position. Sold too soon. It goes from 68 to 78. It rips up here to 90. What was the high? It's 97. So if I held that trade from 68, I probably would have been selling at 85, which would have been a good 15 to 18 cents. That would have been a nice trade. Sold too soon. So after it rips up to past 78, right? The breakout here starts at 78. It rips to 97. As it dips, I tried to buy the dip. And it flushed down. So it flushed down like nobody's business. I'm in at 85, which is, from 97 kind of high, but I felt comfortable with the entry. It flushes down so fast. I'm out at 72. That was the first flush that I got caught in. What was that, 13 cents? Yeah, 8 and 5 is 13. So we lost 13 cents, which is around $300. We went from green to red, right? Green to red. Which just wasn't good. So our first two trades were in at 69 and out at 71 for $50. Then in at 70, out at 77. And not even for the entire position. You can see I'm out at 77, 76, 76, and then out 1,000 shares at 71. So this wasn't even a full 7 cent trade on the 2,500 shares. So that's why we're only up like 140, 150 before then taking on the losses. So SLNO, if we're going with the timeline, we switch over to this one. It's actually curling up, and I'm watching the pullback here. We have a low at the time of 45, and I'm trying to buy in the spreads. I would say the spreads were tight, it felt like, but man, did I get some high fills. I'm buying here between 45 and like 46. It seemed like the spread might have been bigger than I thought it was, and I'm in at 49 and 48. Jeez Louise. So as this pulls back lower, I'm like, okay, I got to take this loss in case it's going to flush down, and then I'll try to average lower. I did average lower, but I did not take 6,000 shares. I only was in 3,000, and so I sold up into the move here. You can see I'm in at 43, selling at 49. That kind of brought us back flat, and then we took the same trade again here, but this time it just kept going lower. We're in 6,000 as it pulled back a second time to this level of 40, and this time it broke down. It just was not able to hold. It's a little disappointing because if we avoid the loss here in at 48 out at 46, if we're in lower, right, and this should not even be a loss in the first place, we should be in 6 to 9,000 between 40 and 43, selling at 50. And we had highs all the way up here to 56, so it's a little disappointing to be right on this stock. I mean, it really is. It shouldn't have happened, but it goes to show you the intricacies of day trading. You got to really be careful. You got to be sharp. And this has happened to me quite a few times over the last few months where I'm in a little too high on these pullback entries. So we got to be careful. And we got to watch ourselves. But anyhow, yeah, so we take the loss over here as it doesn't curl back up. I was watching for a quick retest of this level, quick bottoming wick, move back up, kind of a, bear trap kind of thing. That did not happen. And so we took a loss, and that was all that this one wrote at this point in time. You can see it curled back up later in the day. But at this point, I had max loss, was not coming back. This looks like it was a nice move, though. High of day was at 156. It comes up to that level of 64. Nice break, pulls back, rips to the upside. High of 209, pulls back. So this was nice price action right here for anybody who stuck around and were maybe able to see it on time to get in here. Right, nice entry points here. Goes up, pulls back. If you can catch the low of this pullback, it looks good. If we get the next leg, pull back again right here, and then move to the upside. From there, you might have gave back a little on this red candle, but even if you did, you caught so many opportunities going up that you might have just given a little off the top. So switching back, VKTX. So the second push starts, and let's see, I can't really quite remember how this leg played out. So, okay, we get a high of day move here to 636. I start to watch the pullback areas. Let's see, we had a low here of 620, and it held 620 really well. I had great positions here. This was a great position, by the way. I had a 23 entry. I had a 23 entry here, and I wasn't willing to hold it. My paper hands. Sold here, and you can see a couple of times I kind of tried the area. And we can go check. This is at 52. My paper hands today, man. So, okay, initially I'm in at 34. We sell that flat. We get back in lower. We caught a nice winning trade. And right here, we did get stop out. We're in at 24. We came out at 18. And this was the low of the pullback here. I think this was a good sell. And so, we're watching the stock at the low of the pullback, and this is the mistake I made right here. So I'm in at 24, and I'm out at 21. I needed to hold right here and give it a chance. At 54, my stop should have been the low of the pullback, which I did know mentally, but I still sold soon, seeing that red on the tape. And I missed out on this trade, so I sold right here 21. and you can see the very next candle is where the move started. So what would have happened here? I would have been scaling out in 500 share blocks. We went from, and I would say this would have probably been about a 20-25 cent win. I don't know if I would have held it all the way to 75. I think I'd have been selling towards 40, 45, and break of 50. I don't know if I would have held shares all the way to 75, but it did open up nicely. And you can see, you know, right here, it kind of felt like, okay, I missed the move. Let's not try and chase it. And so I waited for a pullback. High of day, we had 640, at the time, yeah, like 640. 650 area was kind of holding, and so, you know, this right here is like, are we gonna see that 1 minute pullback or 5 minute pullback? And so I'm watching at it. We had a low 57, 52. It makes a high of 75. It quickly pulls back to 50. I bought, and this is where I got caught in my second flush of the day, in at 56 out of 37. And you can see this pullback held. At this point, I kind of, you know, it was like, man, this loss was kind of a crushing loss, because, you know, if I had the foresight to see this would have been a bigger drop, I could have just traded this 5 minute pullback down here and could have made money, you know, down here. But I got in thinking we're going to see a 1 minute pullback, you know, maybe a double bottom right here at 50, and then a curl back up. Instead, we saw the 5 minute pullback and the pullback down to 24 again. So it came back for a reset, and it did curl up nicely from 24. We got back to 75, and that kind of was the end of it. It even happened a bit of a third time too, although I wasn't interested in this third pullback here after it came down again over here. Yeah, these trades here were like high of day scalps, not quite getting to see it, this particular trade. It sucks to be red on this stock. I mean, even the other one, I mean, you know, today is actually my biggest red day, which is kind of crazy because of how well the stocks were moving. I don't know, it doesn't feel like I'm red. Like the size of the loss doesn't bother me. It doesn't feel like I'm red, but here I am, red $1,300, you know. So once, and I didn't use any sort of serious size, I don't think. So it goes to show you the risk, right? I mean, I could have easily bought 10, 15, 20,000 shares of the stock. Instead, I'm only using 2,500 shares. So even with 2,500 shares, you can still lose money, right? So you got to be careful out there, guys. The markets are unforgiving, right? So you got to be careful. You got to be sharp. And we got to make sure we are holding our winning trades, and cutting our losses as quick as we can. So we'll be back tomorrow looking to be a little bit better, right? Not much more to really say other than we traded well. We could have traded better, though. And we just got to stay a little, you know, we got to be a little tighter for tomorrow. We got to be a little bit more careful with our entries. We got to be a little bit more precise and a little bit more accurate, right? Those are the words, accuracy. If we can be accurate on these same trades here, we're up with great numbers today. So, you know, we got to watch it. And today is just a reminder of the risk, right? What does suck, though, is that, and you know, not to focus too much on the numbers, I had a $1,200 drawdown, and we made back that money last week from Tuesday to Friday. Now today we're literally down $1,300. You know, we've had a lot of days above 1K, and you know, we'll see. Tomorrow we might be up 1K. I mean, it's not the expectation really. My expectation is to trade the market, to trade the setups, and wherever my P&L ends up, that's where it ends up. And you know, hopefully green. So tomorrow we'll be here looking to trade A-quality trading, and we'll see what we get, guys. It's been RT, and I am, of course, signing out.